wanna do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you wanna do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast.
Come? Alright, I'll do my own bit for myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road. Hey Dave.
Hey Boater.
What do you call an industrial building that manufactures okay products? A satisfactory. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Boater.
I'm Dave, man.
I'm back. We're back in the studio. How's everyone doing today? Welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. It's good to be back in the seat. It's been a few weeks.
So glad it's spring now, and we're just not going to have to deal with snow in upstate New York ever again until winter, because that's how it works.
Well, now that global warming is basically a thing, that's actually a somewhat decent assumption.
Saturday. It's supposed to snow Saturday.
Is it? Oh, that's good. That's nice. We haven't had enough snow. I'm the kind of person that, I hail from central New York. There should be snowfall to make igloos on the corners of, the driveway and the street. And there hasn't been that.
After going to college in central New York and then, liking it and living up there, I much prefer the idea of, if I'm going to get snow, I want all the snow. I don't want a smidge, a smear, a dusting.
And especially this winter has been all right, cool, it snowed. And sometimes even it would snow a lot. And then it would be in the 40s for a week. I had my windows down on the way here, blasting Club to Death by Rob Dugan out the window on the Northway. When a week ago, I'm so mad. I grabbed the card out of my dash cam a day too late to grab it. But a week ago, all the ice and stuff, Tuesday morning, had all the branches so low that there was an arch that was maybe 6 feet wide and 8 feet tall in my road. That was the only way that I could leave, just from pine branches hanging down. It was wild. And literally, last night I grabbed the card out of my dash cam to look and see if I can grab that. And no, the first clip, because it cycles through and deletes old stuff or whatever, was halfway through that morning commute. So I did see the person blowing through the opposing red light when I had a green, but I didn't get the ice sculpture blocking the road. So now I remember why I never show up for the first 60 seconds of this. You love it more like rigor mortis, and welcome Love Alec, welcome Amp Slayer. If it snows this weekend, I blame Boater. That's fine. You can thank me. You can blame me. I don't care.
Boater's the only one who didn't predict or talk about snow.
I'm just saying that I like it.
Welcome Taco Pill as well. I rescind my patronage. What up, Vladdy? Welcome, welcome.
That's right. A lot of our viewership is from Long Island. Love Alec, Taco Pill, Demon Dragon.
Yep. Yeah, we're...
Did you feel like I did? That is Long Island, a great place to be from.
Us downstaters all decided, yes, let's get the fuck out of here. And let's not take the Taconic to do it.
Anyway, welcome everybody. We normally start with a Twitch ban, and Dave, I know I told you that I didn't have one, but I changed my mind.
So we don't get to 2 weeks in a row compliment the internet for keeping their shit together?
Well, I don't have a streamer that is banned. Instead, I have a streamer's emote that is banned.
Okay, I don't know that we've ever had that situation before.
Gaming streamer and TikToker Chica had an emote banned, Chica L, and it was cited as because it is used for targeted harassment and bullying.
Okay.
So the emote is a little, a baby chicken, a little chick, sticking out its tongue and making an L with its wing on the forehead.
Okay.
L. And because, some gamer, we took the L on that one, or haha, making fun of someone else that lost.
Yeah.
And so I can see how it could be used in a kind of bullying way, but It's also the kind of thing that is just like, that's really weird that, like, because there are emotes that have been used as a kind of like, oh, if you know, this is actually really bad and toxic.
Yeah, like the original PogChamp.
Yeah. and like, so I don't think, like, people are like, that probably wasn't the case with this one. What some streamers have said is like, oh yeah, I had one that was just my name and then a single letter, and it was also banned. So I think Twitch is trying to clean house on that. And why they listed that reason might have been somebody entered a form wrong, or maybe because like someone did report it, like maybe one person said, oh, they did that, and I kind of felt a little, and they saw a great excuse to get rid of a single letter emote.
Or, unfortunately, a lot of emotes and things like that, once someone subscribes to your channel, they can use those emotes for whatever they choose to. Mm-hmm. So if someone subscribes here on Insane Games TV and gets mic face, and I would hate it if people were to start messaging your local government with just mic faces, we would hate that. We would hate that entirely. We would really hate it if you
get you the source photos so you can blow it up to banner size and
we would
throw it on the back of a U-Haul.
We would really hate it if you would start sending the Mike face and Dave face emotes to that campaign to for the fourth time the Wilton Mall wants to get turned into apartments. We would hate it if you just spammed them that response. We would despise it. It would be just crushing. And of course, Mike face would be too powerful and get banned.
Demon Dragon asks, is that a new set piece?
Which and to what?
I don't know, but Conspiracy Baseball is visible and I don't like it.
The game rack.
Oh, I don't remember that either.
That was a gift from our producer, Steve, because he knows that I have an ungodly amount of special edition and steel books bought from games and things like that. Thank you, Demon Dragon, for pointing that out. I spend a lot of time on my sets, okay? And people don't ask enough questions about it. But on there, I have some of my favorite games on streams, and then just some of the look of really cool steelbooks and/or stories about it. We're gonna, you know what? I'm gonna add a channel point thing where once per stream you can do it, and you can ask about a thing on the sets. People aren't gonna use it, but I'm
nice
gonna put
to
it there
have.
anyway. Like,
anyway, that's what was banned. A cute little chick making the L. Maybe because like people were then using the single letter emotes to like type things in.
oh, absolutely, because you can say a lot of banned words with the letter L.
Yeah.
Especially if you're
if you get past it with
and use the interwebs.
Yeah. If you get past it with that kind of thing. So anyway, that's what happened in the last 7 days. Dave, what do we have coming out in the next 7 days? What do we have to look forward to this week?
So, barring Steve's incredible excitement for the third game we're going to be talking about, this is a week that, we'll be talking about conspiracies later, don't you worry. I'm just glad Boner spotted at the top of the stream. There are a lot of games coming out in the next 2 weeks, so button down your budgets here. But the first one is a game that's coming out today for the Nintendo Switch. And of course, all of our trailers are being brought to you by the hard work of our producer, Steve, and presented in crystal clear 18K Nerd Vision.
It's like 2K.
720p.
Okay, that's...
So this
Like
from our good
1.2K.
friends at THQ Nordic. It is a game called Remnant from the Ashes. It is a third-person shooter coming out on the Switch. It's been out on Windows, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One since 2019.
Okay.
The game, its descriptions describes itself as, but what if Dark Souls with guns?
Ooh. What if Dark Souls with guns?
I know. And I also then found out that it's co-op with 2 to 3 players. It's also got a pretty interesting storyline for me because it involves space stuff. So, of course, take my money, I'm in. But an interdimensional evil called the Root destroys the Earth. And so the players go around to these different safe spaces for humanity called wards. And you try to find the person who is able to create these wards, to get more of an understanding of what's keeping the root out of the wards. Then shenanigans and time travel and interstellar travel becomes a thing as you try to find your answers. And in sci-fi, I love when it's, I'm finding answers, and now I just have more questions. Damn it. So, Remnant from the Ashes, Windows, PlayStation 4, Xbox One, already been there, done that. And it's on the Switch now. It's gotten a lot of positive reviews. THQ Nordic has a long track record of making games that don't necessarily change the paragons, but do make you think, wow, I didn't waste my money and time on this. So, well worth a look at, well worth a scratch if third-person shooters, a little bit more of a higher difficulty, and just the ability to play with multiple people captures your fancy. The second title is coming out on the 23rd for Windows and Switch. This one, a little bit vague on details, but a lot of story to be told. Namely that you, the player, will be the, as the game is called, storyteller.
Okay.
A comic-style puzzle storytelling game.
Ooh, puzzle.
Where you build these different comic panels to tell the story by selecting different elements and adding them in.
Okay.
Now, by mixing in certain elements and things like that, you can actually just change how the story is told and discover a different story altogether.
Huh.
And, this game is very much a small company making it, all this and that and the other. But the more I saw about it, the more I thought, this looks like a great game to play if you're, let's just say, on a plane, or not particularly going to be totally invested in it, but going to have a great time with it.
Yeah. It almost seems like the kind of thing, looking at its presentation, like it would work on mobile as well. Because it reminds me a tiny little bit of a game called Framed, in so much as it uses that comic frame style way of telling its story and setting up puzzles. But it's looking like that's coming out on Switch, which can be brought anywhere you go, as well as Steam, so Steam Deck. So not quite mobile phone, but still portable.
It's about as affordable as a mobile phone. It's about as accessible as the new mobile phones. So, I mean, buy yourself a Steam Deck. Treat yourself.
A Switch is much cheaper than a decent phone
Well,
at
yes,
this point.
the Switch is, but if we're talking Steam Deck...
is somewhat cheaper than a decent mobile phone.
A decent, one of the really zazoo mobile phones with all the cool things that the kids are using.
Why did you use a character from The Lion King as an adjective?
Because if you're going to get yelled at by someone at a mobile store, you might as well be able to tell them buzz off, Buckbeak.
Okay, continue.
And the last game, I'm going to be a little light on the details on this because I know that you should have questions about it, and you should tune into The Shack after this to get those questions answered. Because on the 24th, on the PlayStation 4,
Legendary Edition?
PlayStation 5, Windows, Xbox Series X, and the Xbox Series S, we are, of course, looking at CarQuest Legendary Edition, the Resident Evil 4 cut. Oh, you decided to use this trailer. So, Boater, you actually have to just watch this entire trailer.
Okay.
Have you seen this?
No.
It is magical. It is very much akin to the God of War trailer that we showed you last time. Where, wow, look at this fun animation style. Look at all the cutesy stuff. Just...
Oh, let's ask this person.
Leon doesn't understand. Excuse me. Wait.
I have played a whole 20 minutes at the beginning of Resident Evil 4, so I got just enough of that.
I mean, that is pretty much the first 20 minutes
Yeah.
of Resident Evil. Is Leon going around the village going, "Hey, can anybody help me?"
Leon doesn't understand. That's amazing. Now I want someone to actually, like a modder to like actually make the game in that art style.
Oh, it's probably halfway done as we speak. Actually, I bet the original Resi 4 was already done in an anime, like really over cutesy style. Our producer will of course link this video to you.
Yes, please.
But for those of you who haven't played any of the Resident Evil games,
I want to
just
listen
know
to that. Like that's yeah.
that 4, even though it is a numerical title and games like that, you can jump into Resident Evil at literally any point.
It's not quite like Final Fantasy where all the main numbered ones are completely separate stories, but they're set up in such a way that you can just drop in at any point.
Especially because they are both self-referential, and the game understands that, hey, there's quite a bit of time between each of the releases of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Biohazard, 8. Like you're looking at like, but 4 is the plot for those of you who haven't seen it, don't know, and haven't yet watched Steve and Mike dominate this game. Special Agent Leon Kennedy must save kidnapped Ashley Graham, the president's daughter, from the, I'm going to mispronounce this, the Los Iluminados cult.
That actually sounds
Hell
pretty good.
yeah. It is so as somebody that has not played the game in its entirety but has watched Steve beat it twice, I've watched Mike and Steve beat it once. I've also watched Steve casually play through enough of it that it counts as him beating it. What game is this, the chief from IGTV? This is, of course, Resident Evil 4. I do like, by the way, they're starting to put on these remasters and remakes the word Biohazard.
Yeah.
As like the typer, so you know this is in the Biohazard form of these games. I like that. And
What do you mean Biohazard form? Because I know that the game was originally released as Biohazard in Japan, but they didn't have the rights to the name here, so they renamed it to Resident Evil.
so after 7 was called Resident Evil Biohazard, they've started like 1 and 2 will have the words Biohazard on in the title card, and then they'll
Okay.
say like Biohazard RE4 or like Biohazard RE2.
Well, I saw that, but like I don't know if that's necessarily for the North American region. I assume that it's just Resident Evil 4 here. At least because of the Japanese flavor, I had
for
assumed that
sure.
Biohazard was referring to that.
That is very possible, and something I hope that it could be one. It could be column A, it could be column B, but the game is very good.
The game looks nothing like this. This is
very.
a
It
completely
looks a
separately
lot like this. Oh,
a
of
completely
course.
separately animated. Okay,
Of course.
go ahead.
Get the demo. Demo is free on the stores. It is great. It's fun. It's terrifying. Friday.
Thank you, Steve.
Expect that we won't be seeing Steve for the next couple of weeks.
Yep,
We're
I'm-
so unfortunate that he has to just be off from work, but we understand that it's a religious experience for him.
So
This is the game that Steve and Mike talk about all the time. And you're exactly right. And
He's gonna be so confused when he sees the actual gameplay.
that's all the games that he's watched us play this, by the way.
I-
That is all the games that are coming out in the next 7
Still
days.
gonna be confused.
That guy could fit into a title card of 3. I am very excited for the next 7 days of games coming out. But until then, buckle down and enjoy what we have, what we're going to, and let us know if we missed anything that sparked your passions and things like that. Of course.
So Dave, looking at that, we know what the next week of gaming is going to bring. But what have you been playing in the past week? Playing, watching, reading?
I was very incredibly busy this weekend. We celebrated 7 years live on Twitch. And Saturday, what was originally going to be a 3-hour stream turned into a 6+ hour hurrah, where looking
Nice.
over old stream clips. And then we went on a deep dive of Instagram to find anything that was associated with the hashtag DAM314. So we, of course, got to watch old Nerd Glasses clips
Yep.
and a bunch of other things. It was a gas, and I cannot thank everyone enough for making that so special, because it's live, and if people don't participate, it's not that it just doesn't mean anything. Other than that, I got really deep into the Diablo 4 demo,
Okay.
beta. I want to talk a little bit more about that in a future topic, but just know that
Yeah.
got sweaty, played a barbarian, got sweaty about that too, and just had a really great time playing with some friends. I also was fortunate enough to get to join a bunch of good folks on Love Alex channel, and we played a prop hunt game called Witch It last night.
Okay.
It was a blast, and because of the jovial nature of this particular prop hunt, we are definitely going to be playing it on during St. Jude's Play Live, because
Cool.
it bears absolutely no questionable content that would make any representation otherwise.
Nice. It was so fun. We got to do this again. And people saying of your anniversary stream that it was amazing, and quote, we broke him in the process.
They very much did. I'm never really sure how to process attention in the regards of the way that it was presented to me. So I appreciate everyone, and I really appreciate everyone bearing with me while I processed what was happening and all those things. It was the second most successful stream I have ever had. The first one was a random Gunpla model stream where just all of a sudden, where all of a sudden, like, Dan messaged me, he's like, you have like 70 viewers right now. And I was like, hi everybody, please make sure to follow here on Insane Games TV. It was awesome. I also got to build a Gunpla model during my shift at the store, because people just
Dave isn't allowed to say it, but he does mean Gundam. Okay, while you work on the sorry.
And of course, as always, we're doing some cheeky things here at Insane Games, and I cannot wait to share more of the reshifting to pre-recorded content. Especially the folks that participate on the Weekend Wednesday Discord and help with stories like that, and especially the folks that answer the weekly question. Need your help, because that is going to become a segment going forward for Insane Games TV featuring moi. But if it doesn't get participation, we're just going to drop it, and I'm going to do less stuff. So please don't give me less stuff to do, please, for the love of God. I'm forgetting more stuff, but that's kind of what I've been up to in the last 7 days. How about you?
Mandalorian continues to be good. This past episode, without going into spoilers, felt like it was a worrying broadening of scope. A couple of ex-Imperial characters, basically it was their episode. It's like how people complained about, Book of Boba Fett, but we spent episodes with Din Djarin instead of with Boba. It was kind of like that. Like it was odd and a little worrying, but I'm going to refrain from passing judgment on it until the season is done, because they may do a very good job of bringing that together, or it might be, no, this is one to set up broader lore for more stuff. This might be setting up for the Ahsoka series some more. I don't know. So we'll see.
This might be setting off on some sort of Imperial or rebel character for them to have their own spin-off show where they're a sheriff, and then it won't definitely get pulled because the person turns out to be questionable on social media at best.
Yeah, the character was kind of, she went to the,
By far,
core...
the shrug that happened when they asked about her.
Yeah, there was a shrug, and it's like, someone was like, I wish that they just, treated the character treated Cara Dune with the same things that, like, the actress. It said, no, it turns out that she was awful because she said this, and no, we can't have someone like that in the Rangers, so piss off. Didn't do it. Aside from that, not too much new, although this past weekend I finally picked up my Mass Effect Legendary Edition playthrough. I started this on Mass Effect 1 when Legendary Edition came out. in 2020, I think. Maybe it was 21. No, it was 2020. No, it was 21. A while ago. Whenever it came out, I started Mass Effect 1. And I started going through and I kind of stopped. And I picked it back up. Steph got Legendary Edition on PlayStation and she started going through. And it was a whole thing. Anyway, I stopped towards the end of Mass Effect 3 and that has been sitting for at least half a year. And I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to do all the Citadel DLC and then I'll finish the game. I've finished the game before plenty of times, but this was just my first time doing so with Legendary Edition and does not make the choice of 3 different endings any easier when they're all imperfect choices, but synthesis is the right choice, just not an easy one to make. So finish that and I installed Mass Effect Andromeda so that I can start playing that on my Series X and we can just slot this right in.
Above Alan
go.
Wake? Really? You're going to put Mass Effect Legendary Edition above Alan Wake?
Well, either that or I'm putting it under Dynasty Warriors 9, Dave.
Which I'm done with, by the way.
$6 at Target for a while. Mass Effect Legendary Edition was $6 at Target for a while.
I don't care.
Steve tempted me several times to try to get it, and I would not spend $6 on it.
Haven't played it yet.
Fine. I'll put Alan Wake back above Mass Effect.
Mass Effect Andromeda, specifically. That's where I draw issue with.
Legendary Edition has nothing to do with Andromeda. It's the trilogy, 1, 2, and 3. Also, shut up about Andromeda. It got a lot of undeserved hate. I really am pissed off that EA just dropped the DLC that they were going to do for that. So, anyway, so that goes there, and then we're putting another game above that just to make you upset. Yeah, so that's what I've been consuming.
That's fair.
In the past, is playing more Moonlighter, but I think I mentioned that one before, and yeah, not a whole lot new to add.
Nice.
The past 2 weeks, More Like Rigor Mortis actually joined me on stream, and we finished another playthrough of We Are OFK.
Very nice.
So that was really fun to watch again, and for her to watch the first time, and it was a cool experience to watch it with someone else, and to, work through my feelings on the show and such when I knew what was coming and trying to work with it there. It was a good time. Still recommended.
Look at Steve and say that.
I enjoyed We Are OFK.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Thank you, Steve.
Well, now it's not as fun to torment him with it. Now it's just a game with songs that I like.
Yeah, notice he didn't say, "Oh, we'll have to try it out." He just said, "I'm glad you enjoyed it," which is a very...
It's better than his past responses where he foamed at the mouth, knocked things over the desk, and ran out of the room.
All episodes are out. I'm over it. I put all my attention on RE4.
Taco Pill, who was watching, "Oh, so that was More Like Rigor Mortis." Yes, that's what my meat puppet form looks like. Next time I'll wear my third host glasses. Which I was able to deliver.
Thank you for taking a social media post of those. Do you know how many thousands of dollars of stuff I have given people on streams and for things? And everyone goes, "Oh, thank you so much." It's like, "Oh, good. We're so glad we put the effort in just to have this thrown back in our face."
Oh, I posted about it. That means give me more stuff, Dave.
That's entirely fair. You have rationalized getting more stuff.
Anyway, there are some snack predictions up. So there's 15 minutes left on the prediction. 13 minutes left on the prediction. So make sure that you check that out.
Cotton Candy Peeps, The Mystery Box, and Liquid Death, who were one of the 3 sponsors we had on the Weekend Wednesday for the Mario Kart League opener, where Steve was dominant. Steve was great, and I hampered him a lot. Dan and Mike, we'll just say that they have one to grow on this week, upcoming. And
They are two of the lowest 3 in the points.
Steve said it, I didn't.
I have to keep a close eye on it. I need to beat CJ. That's all I want.
I'm just looking forward to not finishing lower than 8th in the future, because
How many people are in the league?
12.
12.
Oh, okay. thought you were gonna say 8.
For the last 3 years, 8 has been my average finish.
Okay.
Which then doesn't help when Steve gets between 1 and 4 on his worst.
My finishes for the 3 previous seasons were a second place in points, a first, and then a second.
Domination Station. What's the slogan for your race season this year?
Domination or bust.
How's your back doing carrying that hard?
It hurts. This champion's belt is definitely helping it.
Oh, good.
I'm glad the what was it called by one of my friends? The champion's cummerbund. The gold cummerbund. Ah, yes. If you want to know what cummerbund to which we are referring, make sure to tune in after the Nerd Glasses to The Shack. And make sure to mention, Steve, that's a nice champion's cummerbund you have there.
All right, Dave, what have we got for some topics of news going on in the world of games and such?
A lot and very good ones. And I really appreciate Amp Slayer and Sustaina have been really filling the Nerd Glasses topics queue. It really helps me to feel like people are actually participating in this outside of the hour that we're live. When people actually talk about it outside of the hour that we're live or interact with it, share on social media, like the clip that we share every week that features our faces. Shame. But anyway, I really appreciate everyone's participation in that. We have an update that the governing body in the UK, the CMA, has officially come to. We have now gathered all of our evidence. We have now heard the rebuttals about the evidence. They are now put the final of April 26th, 2023 to rule on the Activision Blizzard merger findings and recommend it be finalized or recommend it be not legal.
So you said April 21st?
26th.
26th. I like that they announced the date that they will announce their findings. They announced an announcement. Good job.
What I liked about it
that?
in that regard was they put, here is all of the information we have that we are now going to chambers with, and everyone's
that's
rebuttals
true.
and
It's
things like that.
we have everything that we are going to get. We will now deliberate for X days. Yeah. Okay.
By the way, Sony comes out in all of that documentation looking exactly how Sony has looked for the last couple of months, like an asshole.
So many more companies have come out, and not necessarily in support of Microsoft, but not in opposition. They're like, either of like, no, this isn't going to create any sort of monopolistic existence within the industry. And a few have even said, no, I think this is going to be beneficial. I think that the industry could use this.
Especially because so many of them now have contracts with Microsoft where it's like, this is literally only going to benefit us. Please don't veto
Well,
it.
when you say that, it's not that these are companies that develop for Microsoft, so of course they would say whatever. We're talking like Microsoft has signed contracts with them to ensure that games that come out of the merger are still available on other platforms and so forth.
On the side of good guy Microsoft, even if the merger does not go through, Microsoft is still going to honor the Game Pass accessibility for the digital services that they signed that include
that
the
Sony didn't sign.
That Microsoft
wouldn't that be hilarious if this didn't go through and then everybody else still gets all the Game Pass stuff and Sony doesn't?
Just peek ahead out there that someone isn't in need of assistance. Sorry.
Okay.
There's a lot of folks screaming, and that's not a good thing in public. Sorry, folks.
No,
just
that's fine.
General friendly neighborhood concern over your local flora and fauna.
We got this. Flora and fauna, the mall wildlife. I think it's just people being loud because they can, but it is worth checking on.
I do hope everyone also checks out Amp Slayer posted about a AAA open world survival game that is now getting greenlit and going into development.
Okay.
Called Project Astrid. It is from the development company
Heard about this.
Splash Damage. it's also heavily featuring in the development and in the design streamers Shroud and Sakurel.
Okay.
Who are two very big people on social media and streaming and things like that. But I am looking forward to seeing as that project develops and seeing that more of these AAA-sized games.
Mm-hmm.
For those of you that don't know, it means that your bare minimum is like $1 million in development, at least. Something like that.
They're the ones that get months of press ahead of time. It's the equivalent of a blockbuster movie, in that they're the big tent poles of the industry. Is what AAA gaming means. Yeah. So yeah, you were saying like it's good to see. I mean, like, it's nice to see healthy AAA gaming, but it's also like, for me, I don't pay attention to AAA releases too much anymore. Like there's some exceptions, but like I might see 3 a year that I'm interested in. You know, Star Wars Jedi Survivor coming out at the end of April, and that's the only one I can think of right now. I'm less interested in Diablo 4 after hearing some of the details about how it is and how it plays in the beta, which we can get to later, because just wanting different things out of it. But actually, do you want to go into that, because you said that you tried that out?
Yes. So the Diablo beta is closed. You missed it. You
this
didn't
weekend.
buy a pre-order copy and then download your pre-order beta and then get a code sent to you in an email 2 days after. And they had the most clever advertising campaign, and I give credit to Diablo 4. They partnered with KFC to give away beta codes if you bought a particular type of sandwich from them. Yes.
Interesting.
The most unearthly, ungodly creation from the pits of hell itself, the Double Down, was the sandwich you had to purchase to get beta access to Diablo 4. It was kismet. That sandwich is 2 chicken patties with cheese and bacon on the inside. It is greasy. It is awful. It is terrible. It is never prepared properly, but no matter what KFC you go to, yuck.
It will send you to hell, and thus thematically appropriate.
And when they found out that that's the sandwich you could purchase to get a Diablo 4 beta, I laughed so hard, I had to recuse myself from my shift for a little while. Oh my God, I doubled down when it once came out and I thought I was going to die. I'm glad I'm not the only one that was almost felled by the dreaded Double Down. But this weekend, fret ye not, because there is going to be now an open beta to everyone with any computer that can run modern gaming, PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, and you'll be able to add. This past week, it was just the Rogue, the Barbarian, and the Spellcaster of some sort. I don't pay attention to them because I don't give a rip about those characters. But they are adding the Necromancer, yuck, and the Druid. You're okay in my book. You're a Magicaster, but you're okay in my book. And I am really, really excited to add those classes, get a look at them, and I really want to bring back my character, because if you get to level 25, you then get, when you play the full game, there are some items you're going to have unlocked and some perks of, hey, thanks for helping us stress test the game. And that's what this was about. Friday, I started the beta, and my window was 45 minutes of wait time, and I waited every single second of those 45 minutes. Unlike Overwatch 2, however, the countdown was proper. Okay. And it did have an accurate, like, incremental decreasing, and then it put me in, and I was in, coach, and I was ready to play.
That's a closed beta for you. Let's see what happens when they open it up and see how their servers do.
Then when I went to go play it on Sunday, my wait time was exactly 0 seconds.
Nice.
They had done some patching to optimize, and I'm really excited for it because the last Diablo game I played was on my family's gateway computer that I played Diablo 2 a lot of Diablo 2.
I know Demon Dragon was playing some Diablo 2 Resurrected this past weekend.
Nice.
Because she wasn't in the beta. Yeah, so like from what I hear, looking at stuff with the beta, it looks like the kind of game that I wouldn't be interested in.
Really?
Like Diablo 3 was fine. Like it played fine, but I never really like the ways in which it departed from Diablo 2, which itself departed from Diablo 1, were okay with me. And the ways that Diablo 4 continues to go, and that it does in ways that it deals with loot drops and stuff. A lot of people say, oh, it feels very MMO, which is 100% not what I want. But if you are the kind of person that does like stuff that is very MMO and boss runs and so forth like that, then this is apparently going to be right up your alley. And that's fine. Like, again, I mentioned that I was playing Diablo 1 a couple of weeks ago because, I found the GOG release, which is nice and stable on modern systems, and I'm fine just playing that. I probably will get D2 Resurrected, but, like, that's... If I play Diablo 3 again, it's going to be a big thing of trying to get me, Demon Dragon, and maybe Rafe Wolf to do a big ol' thing for my YouTube channel. But, like, on its own, we'll see. But again, that's a personal thing in how the series has developed into the directions that it's moved in. I'm not interested in enjoying it on that, and that's fine. You notice I said it's not for me. I didn't say it's bad. I said it's not for me. We can admit that we might not enjoy things out there, internet, and not pass it as an objective value judgment. Anyway.
Unlike
Yes, Steve. Yes. Right in there. Right in the strike zone.
Wait.
Really?
I don't have a blade.
Why don't you have a blade?
I don't know. I have.
Well, that was your own fault.
That's
Now Steve lies dead on the ground. Just deal with it, Steve. Pretend.
now he's gonna keep. Now he's forevermore going to keep blade. By the way, if they do ever have a lightsaber duel, we will. He said, "Why don't I have a blade?" I would whip the camera around, and I would start to commentate as. Do you remember what the name of the two-headed guy from the pod racing thing was?
Yes, it's oh god, it's like Bede, and I don't know, but Greg Proops voiced them.
I don't know, everybody out there.
Yeah.
That sort of high energy, high end style.
Yeah, but you need to make sure that one of the heads is speaking in basic and the other one's in Huddies. So, fake your Huddies for a while.
Oh
yeah. So last week was some big news for Twitch. When the longtime CEO, Emmett Shear, stepped down. He has been with the company since co-founding it as Justin.tv back in 2007. And he said that he wants to spend more time with his family, upcoming birth of his son. And he says, Twitch often feels like a child that I've been raising as well. And while I will always want to be there if Twitch needs me, at 16 years old, it feels to me that Twitch is ready to move out of the house and venture alone. Not a great, growing child. Great, cool, but you don't kick a kid out of the house at 16. Whatever. Anyway, so new CEO and Twitch, proud kid, ready to venture out of the house on its own and faceplant on the stoop because as part of Amazon laying off, I think 9,000 people total, 400 of those came from Twitch, which not a bad ratio considering everything with Amazon and how many jobs were lost overall, but still, ow.
Yes. I mean, the other half is because it's a Google paring down, they're a Google subsidiary. I'm just glad we didn't find out, oh yeah, Twitch is getting shut down in favor of something new called... Not going to say the word I was thinking of. Never mind.
I was only half paying attention because I was reading chat, and that's probably for the best.
Twitch. Exactly, Vladdy. We're making Twitch here. What's the matter, you? We got Twitch streamers. No, you're not streamers. You're Twitchers.
Oh, God.
You're in the neighborhood now. You're Twitching. Stanley Tucci.
The new CEO, Dan Clancy, of course, had to announce that and shared that, there's going to be 400 jobs lost from Twitch. From Twitch. And that right now, people don't individually know if they're going to be affected. They haven't said what jobs are being lost. They're going to know by early next week at the latest. He blames layoffs in part on a decrease in viewership since the height of the pandemic. The pandemic was great for Twitch. People at home watching, whatever. Those numbers, although the viewership numbers are still high, they're not where they were. Keep that excuse in mind because we're coming back to that later for another story. Twitch is out. Google Plus is back in.
Google Plus is back in, baby.
No. Nope. No, we're not combining those words. Dave, give me something. Anyway, any comments on either new CEO, the old one stepping down, or on...
I'm kind of glad that we are seeing a change in leadership on Twitch, being that it has been a lot of more of the same. And it comes from the idea of people can only have so many ideas and brains and lobbies and groups. You do need to shake them up. You do need to change what you do, things like that. So I think in the end, it will be more beneficial for Twitch to have changed up and changed their direction, especially now that they are, this is their first CEO under Google as opposed to Amazon. I remember Amazon, excuse me.
Yep.
I remember when we were in a garage and like we didn't have all this fancy stuff and this that, and the other.
It's been, for better or worse, it's been one person steering the ship for 16 years. And there has been influence from Amazon that's meant to come in, but I'm sure there have also been voices from within the company that have wanted to be heard. And it's been the same guy of, this is what we're doing, this is what we're not doing.
Yes.
And so I guess we'll find out with the new leadership, does it go in a direction that is more streamer friendly, or does it go in a direction that is more shareholder friendly? That is the big question, because I feel like the last guy did an okay job walking that line.
Absolutely.
There were times where there were really big missteps, but they've also done some things that have worked out okay for streamers. And so with there being a lot more competition in the live streaming thing than when Sheer started out, maybe we'll see better revenue sharing. Maybe we'll see more streamer focused stuff. Or maybe we'll see the platform collapse in 5 years as it all goes to the shareholders. We'll find out.
Here's hoping not the latter. But let's see. We've got... Oh, my God. So on another little bit of a story, as many of you may know, unfortunately, we lost Lance Reddick recently. Very unexpected. Was not a... thing, was not a person of a certain age where you would expect these sort of things to happen.
For those unfamiliar with the name, can you list a few things that they've been in or characters that they've played?
Lance Reddick was a character in the John Wick franchise. He was a character actor in many different internet shorts and comedy-based things. You've definitely seen him on College Humor. He was a big part of the campaign in Destiny.
He was in Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yes.
And I assume he's in Forbidden West, but I haven't played it.
He was Albert Wesker in the Resident Evil television show. And many other roles that I'm not remembering, but that doesn't mean that they weren't great in their own way.
He was prolific and influential.
He was in the concierge in John Wick, and he was awesome in that role. But the Destiny players decided to pay their respects to the late Lance Reddick by gathering at a location in the game called the Tower, where his character is still standing, and you can still speak to the character, because if you finish the campaign, he's just there kind of giving you isms and little lines and this and the other. He's been a voice actor in Destiny since 2014, and it was just a really nice way of people to reconnect with, as a lot of you know, and myself and you fall in love with some characters. You fall in love with some characters' foibles, some voice acting, you really like it, things like that. And so for some people, that was their way of paying respects without blowing up people's social medias or intruding on people's personal life and privacy.
It was a way of doing it with community, and that's a huge thing. Because you could go on your own, but this ended up being kind of an event, and I don't know if it was planned ahead of time or if it kind of grew into one in an ad hoc kind of way. but it became a community event that people were part of this kind of memorial service almost. Was nice to see. So last week there was also some downer news. I mentioned last year having watched Willow and very much enjoying it. As much as it was a little inconsistent at spots, I enjoyed it. And at the end, when they teased Volume 2 and 3, I was looking forward to more seasons. It was widely reported by, I think, Variety, and then everyone picked it up because they had a catchy headline, that the series was canceled by Disney and would not be renewed at all. And like there was just a lot of talk because it was like the third series last week that centered like lesbian characters that then was cut short or canceled or not renewed, something like that. There's been a lot recently, so it was like pattern recognition with that and a lot of other things, and people just saying that the thing that I said before, viewership numbers during the pandemic were high and a lot of shows were commissioned, and now viewership numbers have started to come back down. The viewership isn't there for as many series as were being produced, and well, I guess this one's getting canceled. That said, John Kasdan the next day issued a statement saying, nope, it's reports of our death have been greatly exaggerated. And so he said what happened, the decision made was to release actors from their contracts so that...
Oh, okay.
So basically, we are not going to be producing season 2 within the next 12 months. My thoughts on that, and this isn't something he said, but like there was a lot of on-location shooting for Willow, and it might be something where, well, we need to shoot during the summer, and it's not happening this summer, and we can't keep them under contract. They said, releasing actors to go to look, movies or other series or whatever.
Yeah.
The scripts we've been working on required just as many actors from our first season with whom no such contractual hold exists. It's saying that Lucasfilm and Disney are still putting their full support behind the writing team, and they're really excited with what they have.
I'm glad to hear that it's not just flat and out canceled. It just sounds like logistics need to happen, and people don't, of course, like logistics. So, of course, they're like, I've simplified down to it's canned.
Yeah, like it might go into production in 2024. It might not go into production for a few years. It might get quietly canceled anyway and shoved off, and just like, they never find the money to put towards the scripts that are written up. Who knows?
One of the ways to make sure that doesn't happen is to currently engage with what's there and also make sure to do things on social media with it.
Mm-hmm.
As
it was
a heads up.
Huge. Well, I mean, you can't really count going into the Save Willow hashtag as and seeing what there, but there was a lot of discussion about it and what it meant to people, and again, people upset seeing the patterns between different shows that were canceled and so forth. Rewatch party. I'm down. Next time you're in town, more like Rick and Mortis, or just we'll hang out via chat and watch it remotely. But yeah, I need to rewatch it. I really did enjoy it. And it's one of those things that the stuff that was like odd or unexpected, when you know it's coming, it doesn't. I mean, obviously, it doesn't come as out of left field, but you can work with it a little more. There's a few like movies that I've watched that seem to end really suddenly, but then when I know that that's where it ends, it's like, okay, I see what the structure of the movie is actually doing. Okay, I'm fine with that. So,
Firefly.
which got a movie to tie up its loose ends.
Yep.
So, like, ultimately, I hope that even if it doesn't happen as a series, that they're able to tie up, give us something satisfactory. It's the second time I've said that this stream. As a movie instead. So, Willow, apparently not canceled, but not going into production anytime soon. Dave, what have we got for a snacky to try?
So, you wonderful folks, 61% of you with 100K channel points voted for Liquid Death. 39% of you voted for Cotton Candy Peps with 64.7K. The mystery box got 10 whole channel points.
Yikes.
So, We joked about this on the weekend Wednesday, and I knew that Boater would enjoy some of the marketing that goes into this.
Yeah, I've
this is
seen the marketing for it. What is? Hold up.
severed lime.
Why lime?
And I got one for each of us. This is, of course, for those of you that don't know what liquid death is, it is sparkling water. The can and the marketing itself are very much of the Smash Mouth style of hey mom, I'm cool, knock before you walk into my room. And the does this can not have a story on it? Oh, this actually does not have a full like gruesome tale of murdering thirst. This one just says, this ruthless tall boy of flavored sparkling water is armed with agave nectar and natural electrolytes to refresh your body and murder your thirst. That can
0%
is so edgy.
Yeah, so like I've seen ads for like, you know, regular whatever. We'll see.
They make tea now.
I don't like sparkling water, so I don't mind this one per se.
Not a fan. Whatever's going on with the flavors there.
We'll finish. We'll probably not buy another one in the future.
Probably will not finish.
Thank you for voting with your channel points.
That will definitely not finish. Ugh.
It's the problem is it's not even weak Sprite. In this particular case, it's
The first impression was weak Sprite, and then it got worse. My tongue is not happy.
Well, don't ye worry, because the future is out there, and we have been warned. We have been warned, and Conspiracy Baseball is here to collect on our promises.
You can't conspiracy baseball me right after trying that.
Oh,
That's
yes,
vile.
we can. Damn it!
I have to wash it down with watered down root beer for what's left of my Wendy's.
So, what would you like tinfoil for a tinfoil hat?
Why the fuck not?
Unfortunately, Conspiracy Baseball kept his ears to the ground, kept his eyes on the tweets, and of course went a little bit on Mixer in a time machine and could find us no Kojima news this week, but was able to track down a warning of the future, people! A warning of the future! Does anyone know if I say the name Tony Todd? Anyone recognize that actor's name?
Like vaguely familiar. Oh, that rattles weird. Like
Any famous IPs you can think of Tony Todd, the actor from?
No. Nope.
Tony the Todger. No, not Tony the Todger. That's
so
something
weird.
that'll get you in a lot of trouble in public in most states. No, Tony Todd is the actor from the horror franchise Candyman.
Okay.
You'll recognize him from many other things, but I wanted to lead with that one because if I say that role a couple more times, what did Todd Howard do now? Not Todd Howard, Tony Todd. But I'm very glad.
People with two first names, you just can't trust them.
So this person has sent us a warning from the future. They were casted as the voice actor is as Venom in Spider is Murder 2. So be out there and be aware that there is going to be murder and spiders. He's also from Final Destination. That is very right. But
This is the right game, right?
Tony Todd let us all know by accidentally confirming on Twitter that Spider is Murder 2 is slated for September release, and that a whole lot of advertisements and work that he has done or things like that are going to be hitting in August. So be ye warned, people! Batten down your systems, hide your children and throwables. Spoder is Murder 2 is coming to the next-gen systems in September. So confirms Tony Todd, voice actor.
Hooray.
Also, while we have the tinfoil hats
come on.
on,
I thought I was clear.
I'm really glad to be talking a little bit and to use the line, folks, Steve, look me in the eyes when I tell you, it's Morbin time.
Oh, my.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Keep those tinfoil hats locked, because Marvel Midnight Suns is adding the Morbius DLC. It's now available. It comes with 7 Abby outfits, 3 skins, 2 swimsuits, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Why swimsuits?
I don't know. I don't want to know. I just wanted to look at the camera and shout, "It's Morbin time!" Boder is safe with his tinfoil mask. Boder is trying to shield himself properly tonight. Vladdy, I am the Vladdy of Christmas past. I traveled with the future to tell you a tale of Morbius. Ooh.
Are we done?
Are we ever done? No, because of course not. You should make sure to hit that follow button here on Insane Games TV and join Boder and myself here every Tuesday at 7:45. And you can find him at every social media platform /Boderbug. And you can find myself predominantly at my work at twitch.tv/DM314. And a lot of cool things coming up here on Insane Games TV. While we're tinfoil hatting
Oh,
it,
my God.
while we're tinfoil hatting it, there's one more
Is there?
tale of horror,
Must we?
tale of woe. What?
Nothing. Continue.
Well, you know, when we talk about NFT scams, I mean NFT operations, I mean NFT scumming.
Okay, hold on. Is this a conspiracy hat thing or okay, whatever. Continue.
It bears conspiracy because
Oh, wonderful.
for once, a AAA company is not to blame for scummy NFTs created. And I shit you not, because we're wearing tinfoils because it's a goddamn conspiracy that this is happening. Yu Suzuki, the original creator of Virtua Fighter, a famous fighting game from back in the day, paired with NFT scum to make 1,000 IP NFTs with their creative license, with the fact that the first 3 Virtua Fighter games were created by this person. Sega, on the other hand, had nothing to do with the NFTs. They are not licensed Sega NFTs, and the artwork presented in it is not similar to artwork in the Virtua Fighter games that are licensed by Sega. Wow!
Interesting.
Wow, what an era
So-
we live in.
So the developers did, but the publisher didn't?
Yes.
Well, there's going to be a legal reckoning there somewhere.
Probably if somebody makes enough money, people will get mad about it. Yeah. And that is enough tinfoil hatting for one stream.
It's bright out here.
The future's bright, Boder. Make sure not to miss out on it. Keep your eyes always on the future and not on the past.
Well, I think in the future we have to remind people that, well, we don't think we have to remind people, but it does good to remind people that they can check us out here every Tuesday evening at 7:45 Eastern. And we look at the past and say, I think this was a good show. I think this went well. I think this was a good time, as always. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Did you have anything that you wanted to say before I go ahead into wrapping everything? I know that we have Steve finishing up Car Quest, Legendary Edition tonight, but...
If you want Sonic Frontiers, there is free DLC. The first of 3 different free DLCs. This one adding challenge levels for post-game players.
Okay.
Adding a jukebox mode where you actually have to collect all the songs from the game, get good, get fast, get them musics, and a photo mode because you got to go fast, but you also got to take good selfies.
Nice.
Please make sure to rationalize your Sonic Frontiers purchase by appreciating the fact that there are 3 pretty healthy free DLCs coming out.
Mentioning also as far as, I guess I'll mention stuff I've been watching to rewind to that really quick. Game Grumps started playing Sonic Frontiers, and watching them play a Sonic game is always a trip. So it's their episodes coming out every Saturday and Sunday. They're going through a long play of that game, so I'm enjoying that so far.
Oh my god. I love
Conspiracy
that.
time. NFTs are the trapped souls of PCs in every landfill. On that note, we're gonna wrap it tonight.
I love it. Oh, I'll ship that. I'll ship that so hard.
Oh, good point, Dude Icarus. They did they confirm or did they just say that they should do another Star Bomb?
They've mentioned something about it in tweets. They also re-released 3 songs in a remix version.
Nice. All right, folks, that is going to do it for the show tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. It means so much to us that you're here week in, week out, as we do our best to bring you gaming news and other BS as we see fit, and we're glad that you're along for the ride. Make sure that you're following right here, and of course, make sure you stick around, because Steve, in addition to finishing Car Quest, is going to be playing Resident Evil 4 Remake.
He's going to be no, not the remake. He's going to be finishing Resident Evil 4.
Oh, I apologize. Right, because the remake comes out when?
Friday.
Comes out Friday. Okay. You know, I'm just going to leave it at he's playing Car Quest Legendary Edition.
I almost caught that.
Yeah, I did a bad job throwing it because of my shoulder. I apologize. It's getting better, but, you know, baby steps. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Stay tuned for The Shack, and we'll see you next week right here for the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I've been Boater.
I've been Dave Mann.
And that's been Steve. Thank you all so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.